Hello, and welcome to Unit 5 Vocabulary. Please take notes on your note sheet and feel free to pause if you need to go back, to restudy, to write down any notes if this goes too quickly. You can use Cornell notes or you can use the note sheet that I have given you in class today. So either way, that works just fine. Okay, our first vocabulary word is called benevolent. It is an adjective. It means well-meaning, generous, doing good. Leo Club is a benevolent group. They are always giving their time to others. I have a picture of Martin Luther King Jr. and Mother Teresa. They are known as very benevolent people. The first part, the prefix of benevolent, bene, means good or well, so that should help you remember that benevolent means well-meaning or generous. If you are a benevolent person, you give to charity or you do great things for other people. Vocabulary word number 2 would be cogent. And cogent means having the power to compel or convince, reasonable or relevant. The results of the DNA test were the most cogent evidence to convict the suspect. Cogent is an adjective, and notice that cogent starts with co, so does compel or convince, so that should help you remember it. If you have a cogent argument when you are trying to convince someone something, then they most likely will believe you because it is believable, reasonable, and relevant. If you want to persuade your parents into letting you do something, a cogent argument would definitely be needed. Our third word is diligent. Diligent is also an adjective. It means marked by painstaking effort, hardworking. The sentence we have for you is, the detective was very diligent in his effort to solve the case. There is a picture of a boy on top of a whole bunch of books, and he would need to put in some diligent effort to read all of those books. And then, of course, firefighters are fighting fires, and it takes diligent work to do that as well. Painstaking effort goes into putting out fires, so that should help you remember what diligent means. The fourth vocabulary word is exculpate. It's a verb. It means to free from guilt or blame. The sentence I have for you is, after the evidence was reviewed, the crime suspect was exculpated and able to walk free. Exculpate is a verb again. Ex means to exit or to go, that prefix there, so you know that the guilt or the blame is leaving, just like in exit. Exculpate is very much like your other vocabulary word, vindicate. It ends with ate, and if you're vindicated, you're free from blame. Well, if you're exculpated, you're free from blame. So that should help you remember what that word means. Vocabulary word number 5, hackneyed. It means worn out through overuse, lacking in originality. The sentence is, I had seen the comedian perform before, so when I saw him for the third time, his jokes seemed hackneyed to me. I have cliches with a line crossed through it. And so if something is overused, if you've heard someone use a term like the grass is always greener or it is what it is, those are hackneyed cliches that people use. You could also use it when you describe clothing, like those shoes that you see right there. Those are definitely worn out from overuse, so any kind of clothing that's like that could be considered hackneyed. Vocabulary word number 6 is innovative. It is also an adjective. It means to introduce something new. The sentence I have for you is, at the science fair, several students presented their innovative ideas to solving problems. Innovative is very much like our word novel, which also meant new and fresh. Innovative is a positive word. If you have that in front of an idea, it means that it was probably pretty good and creative, which is why I have the little guy there saying, let's get creative. And when you learn things, you come up with innovative ideas. Many of you have done that this year. So innovative is our vocabulary word number 6. Vocabulary word number 7 is maverick. It's a noun, one who does not go along with a group or a party. The sentence I have for you is, my brother is such a maverick sometimes. Just yesterday he went to a movie all by himself. I have a picture of umbrellas with that red one sticking out the most, and so that would be an example of a maverick. I also, on the right, have a picture of a female entrepreneur, and to be a business leader, to run your own company, you have to be a maverick of sorts. And so maverick in this case is very positive. Usually it's somebody who does not go along with everyone else, but sets themselves apart. Vocabulary word number 8 is eviscerate. It's a verb. It means to remove the contents of. The sentence I have for you is, the ancient Egyptians would eviscerate the bodies of the dead in order to mummify them, which is kind of scary and creepy. If you Google image eviscerate, it is horrifying. So it looks like an episode of The Walking Dead. So I have 2 different pictures up here. One where a dog has eviscerated the stuffed animal that is on the floor, so it's taken out all of the stuffing. And then a room that looks eviscerated. It looks like all of the contents were removed from the drawers and the shelves and the bedding. So to eviscerate usually is pretty messy, but I tried to give you pictures that weren't so terrifying so that you can use eviscerate in your everyday life. Vocabulary word number 9 is ornate. It seems to be the opposite of eviscerate. Ornate, elaborately decorated. The sentence I have for you says, she likes to wear ornate jewelry, elaborate jewelry. Elaborate is a good way to remember this. It's a lot like ostentatious, our vocab word from before. The picture on the left is an ornately decorated house, and then the one on the right is a picture from the ceiling from the Capitol building in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I think most of you have seen that. It is very ornate, very beautiful, and elaborately decorated. Finally, the last word in our vocabulary unit 5 would be pervasive. It's an adjective. It means dispersed throughout, spreading through every part of something. The sentence I have for you says, upon entering the restaurant, the pervasive smell of fresh baked bread filled my nostrils, making me hungry for lunch. So something can disperse throughout in a positive way, like the smell of bread, or you can have a pervasive element of smoke after a fire, which is on the left there. It's very hard to get rid of that because it does spread throughout so quickly. And then we've all smelled that pervasive smell of skunk. When a skunk is hit on the road or if they've been around, you know that their scent is pervasive. It lingers through everything. There you have it. Those are your vocabulary words for Unit 5. I hope you were able to get your notes down and have them ready for next class.